In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to download, set up, and record with OBS in Windows 11. So to get started, we're just going to jump on the internet, type in OBS, and head over to obsprojects.com. The first link should be the download link, and then you've got a range of different ways of downloading, whether you have a PC, a Mac, or a Linux device. I'm going to select PC, and then you can see you can download the installer directly from their website via BitTorrent, or download the zip. You can get it from the store, you can get it from Steam, you can get it from GitHub. I'm just going to download it hit the download installer. It's going to take a couple of seconds to download, and then we're just going to open this guy up. Then it's going to pop up asking, do you want to install? We are going to select on yes. Once it starts installing, you can close out your internet browser, and then we can go through the setup wizard. We're just going to select on next. We can just go next again. Here you can choose where you want to install your OBS files. I think C drive is pretty standard, and then just let the installer do its thing. Once it has finished installing, you can see you now have OBS on your desktop. We can just choose to launch OBS. I'm going to select on finish, and this is going to launch us into the OBS program. You can, of course, also have it pinned to your start bar, where it's easy for you to access. And then OBS is going to ask you with the auto configuration wizard, do you want help setting this up? And you have three options here. You can choose to optimize for streaming, recording is secondary. You can optimize just for recording. You're not going to be streaming, or you're just going to be using the virtual camera. If you want OBS to help you set this up, you can hit next. Or if you want to do it yourself, you can hit cancel. In this example, I'm going to hit next so you can see what OBS does, but then I'm going to show you how you can customize these settings afterwards anyway. Let's hit next. It's going to ask us what our base resolution or our base canvas is going to be. I'm going to say use our screen, which is a much more high definition. It's more than 1080p. I'm going to use that, and then you can choose what FPS you would like. You can choose either 60 or 30. You can choose 60/30 but prefer a higher resolution, or you can say pick 60 or 30 but prefer 60 where possible. I'm going to select on either 60 or 30 but prefer a higher resolution, but you can totally pick what works best for you and simply select on next. It's going to run this test. This might take a couple of seconds, but then it's going to give you what OBS thinks is the best settings to record on your computer. So let's just break this down very quickly. It says it's going to record and encode in X264. It's going to record in high quality with a medium file size. It's going to use the base canvas, so the resolution of the screen, but it's going to scale it down to 1080p, and it's going to aim for FPS settings of 60. This is pretty good, but I'm actually going to change that output scaled resolution. What we're going to do is go apply on these settings. And before we actually go and create some sources, I'm going to select on the file option, go over to settings, and then in our settings here, under the video option on the left-hand side, it's about halfway through. Here where it says my base canvas, I've got the resolution, and it's got the aspect ratio of 3:2, which is the aspect ratio of my screen. The output is going to be a 16:9 output at 1080p. I want this to be 1:1 with my screen. So I'm just going to highlight and delete this and start typing in the same resolution as my screen. As I start typing in the letters 2, 3, or the numbers 2 and 3, it automatically fills the rest of it for me. And it tells me it's essentially the same aspect ratio and the same base canvas. Your ratio might be 16:9, 16:10, depending on the screen that you have, and then simply select on apply. Now what we're going to do, you can see my microphone here is already working away. It's using the built-in camera or microphone here. Here we have an option for sources. If I press on the start button, the first thing I usually add is a display capture because I want to do screen recording. You can choose to name this. I'm going to keep it as display capture. If you had existing ones, they would show here. And we're going to make the source visible. We're going to select on OK. It's going to ask you for the capture method. You can leave it on automatic, or you can use the Windows 10 option. And then it just wants you to choose what display you have. You can see automatically it grabs my display, and it's the right resolution. If you wanted to capture something like your webcam, you would select on the option of plus. Then you would add in something like a video capture device. And then you can rename it here. You can add an existing one. We're going to make that source visible. Select on OK. Then it's going to ask you to find your webcams. You can drop this down and choose which webcam you're after. I'm going to select on OK. And then I've got my webcam here as well. If you want to learn how to turn this into that circle and really adjust this, I'll put a link to another video in the description down below. But I'm just going to drag this guy down. I'll put myself in the bottom left-hand corner here for now. And I can easily just use this to move up and down and move myself around the screen. So what we'll be recording is the screen, my webcam, and of course the microphone here too. If you wanted to turn off the webcam, for example, you can actually just hit on this eye option. It's going to disappear, turn me back on, and you can see me on top as an overlay. The last thing I want to show you in terms of setting this up for a basic stream is adjusting your microphone. So you can see here the microphone is already working away. It's using the built-in one here. If we select on the ellipses, we can go ahead and select properties down the bottom, and it's going to ask what device we're going to use. It's set to default by default, but it's using the only device that it has. What I have here on the side though is a second USB-C microphone. I'm going to plug this guy in because you might want to use a better microphone. And then what you're going to do is select on the ellipses, go down to properties, and then under device, instead of default, I'll choose that secondary microphone that I have just so you get better audio. And now you're basically ready to stream. The last tip I want to give you is choosing where you can save your output files. I'll show you where it saves by default, and then I'll teach you how you can actually choose where these files save. What we're going to do is select on the option of File, scroll down to Settings, and then in Settings, we have the option of Output. Here you can change things like your video bitrate and whether you want high quality medium files, if you want lossless quality, if you want, you can choose the version or the quality of your files. You can change the recording format. I actually convert this. For me, I prefer working with MP4. It does give you a warning though that it does require extra CPU usage, and if it crashes with MP4, you do actually lose that file. I've just always worked with MP4. It's really simple and easy, but you can choose what works best for you. MKV also, you do need a converter. So I convert this to MP4, but pick whatever works best for you. I'm going to select on apply. And what you see here is the option of recording path. By default, it's set to computer, user, me, then videos. If we select on browse, it's just going to dump it in here. But what I'm going to do is either through OBS or in our file explorer, I'm going to go over to the video section. I'm going to right click. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this screen recordings. So instead of just dumping it in the video section, I'm going to go browse, and under videos here, I'm going to choose screen recordings and select that folder, go apply and hit OK. And that is it. Now we can hit the button of start recording. And what we can see here, I'm even going to bring the microphone a little bit closer to me. You can see it spiking up. Then I'll hit the option of stop recording. We're going to go over to our file explorer, over to videos, launch screen recording. And here we have that video that we just created. And what we can see here, I'm even going to bring the microphone a little bit closer to me. You can see it spiking up. And it is that easy to set up OBS in Windows 11. Of course, if you like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. If you want to supercharge raise your computer, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.